Hello and welcome back to another video and welcome to the November wrap up. Let's go. End of November. We're gonna fire through some fun facts about my month of November. Read 7 books that totaled out to 2,493 pages. Now, another fun fact is quite a lot of I'm looking at my reading journal here. Quite a lot of the books that I read this year, at least 2 of them don't have videos. So, yeah. Anyways, we're gonna go through all 7 books that I read and am super excited. Okay, starting off with, technically this book I started in October. It carried into November, finished it November 2nd, and that is Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. This is the 2nd book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I gave this book 3 stars. I genuinely do not remember this book. It's been a month, literally. It's been a month. I do not remember really anything that happened in this book other than that the beginning was really exciting, the middle was extremely boring, and the ending was good. That's about it. There's a video on my channel, me reading this book. If you want my true, more in-depth thoughts, I'd go watch that because this book had very little impact on my brain, and I haven't thought much about it since. Next, we have one of the ebooks. Obviously, the cover will be here. The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This I gave 4.75 stars. I was on the edge of my seat this entire book. I don't normally read crime books, like about let me give you a backstory, because again, I don't think this book has a video. I'm pretty positive it doesn't. I kind of just read it to read it. It took me like 2 days. But I think, so the plot of it is Casey gets hired secretly by like the FBI to be a natural, which basically means she's really gifted she becomes a profiler. She's really gifted at that, and basically they are trained in solving cases, like old cases or old cold cases that are no longer in investigation. Pretty much, and she meets the other naturals. They're cool. It's not, this book is, why is my camera like that? Sorry. This book is not one that I read a lot of. I don't read a lot of this kind of book, but I did enjoy it nonetheless. Obviously, I almost gave it 5 stars. I think if you're a fan of like crime shows, like Criminal Minds and things like that, you would love this book and probably the rest of the series. I'm definitely reading the next one and so on and so forth, because this was like, I was gripping the edge of my seat. I was like, what is going on? The plot twist at the end, no clue what's happening. No idea. Just I'm normally good at figuring out plots. This book kept me engaged and intrigued the whole time. It was really good. Loving the little love triangle. I think Jennifer Lynn Barnes does a great love triangle, and hopefully will make it fair. So the 3rd book I read this month was another ebook. I read a lot of ebooks this month. Is Ocean's Deep by Anna Travis. This is a reread, so my first reread of the month. This is the 3rd book in the Milana Legends series, which is I think 6 books in total. I have had this book on, like, wanting to reread on my TBR for probably over a year now, and I just haven't, like, just this whole series. I want to reread the whole series for the first time, rereading it for the first time. And I finally got to it, and really, I loved it. I loved these characters and diving back into this world, and I just know that obviously I've already read it, so I know the series gets better past this point. I think really the first 3 books are really the build-up of understanding the world and the people and the magic system and just kind of where this realm has fallen, like, almost into pieces, and how the politics are. And it's really, I think the first 3 books really build those building blocks for the next 3 to really jump off of and skyrocket into the stratosphere of how incredible those books are. I wish I could give you the plot of Ocean's Deep, but it would kind of be spoiling the plot of the previous two books, and I'm not good at summarizing plots. I don't know if I may have mentioned this on Instagram, but go check me out on Instagram, by the way. Super good content on that, purely, like, it doesn't cross over to here. I have exclusive content on Instagram. That's what I was trying to say. Where you know that game where people, like, read a really bad description of a movie and you have to try and guess what movie that is? That is me just with describing books and summarizing plots of books. It's so bad. And I also don't want to spoil anything, so I'm constantly thinking, like, is that considered a spoiler? Is that, like, especially with Moana Legends, because I don't feel like a lot of people know about it. It's really cool. It gives off slight Narnia vibes. It's Christian fantasy. Do not go into it expecting Narnia. I will tell you that. Because you're not going to be disappointed. It has Narnia vibes, but it is not Narnia, okay? It reminds me a bit of Narnia, but not in the same way that Narnia is Narnia. That probably made no sense. Hope you're tracking with me. But anyways, I gave that, did I tell you my rating for that? I gave it 3 stars with the reread. I read this book before I started getting into rating them and actually keeping record of what I thought. But I gave it 3 stars. Out of I think the first 3 I would kind of give around that range. They were good. They are good setups to the incredible plots that are the latter 3. So 3 stars. And then I read another ebook. Oh my goodness, so many ebooks, so many ebooks. I read Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This book is a fairy tale retelling of the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. Knew that going into it, fell in love with it. There were some moments where it was a bit slow, but overall, I genuinely fell in love with Catherine as our main character, aka the Queen of Hearts, but this is before she becomes Queen of Hearts. So kind of what leads up to her becoming that. And I gave it 4 stars. It was lacking in some areas where, like, it was good, but it was missing something. It was missing 5-star quality. And I can never pinpoint exactly. Sometimes I can pinpoint exactly what was missing, but for this book I couldn't. It was missing something. It didn't give me the 5-star feel. It was close, but it didn't give me the 5-star feel. And I loved Catherine and I loved Jest, and the characters were so good. As someone who has watched, I think, 2 different versions of Alice in Wonderland, the original animated version and the live action version Disney did a while back, and also watched Through the Looking Glass, which was the other live action version of that, the animated's really weird. The live action's, is still weird. Alice in Wonderland in general is weird. Let me just say that. So it wasn't that bad, but I really liked getting kind of the backstory for the Queen of Hearts. And now I sympathize with her a bit more as to why she is the way she is. And, that ending really killed me. I think it was actually, now I remember what I said in the video for Heartless, that the ending for Heartless, that, like, after this giant crazy thing happened, the ending after that, which is like the very end of the book, felt rushed to me, and it felt kind of like you were trying to wrap it all up in a cute little bow, but it has, like, kind of frays at the edge of it. Like, it just felt too quick of a wrap up after what just happened. You were, like, really rushing it, which I don't know if that's what Marissa Meyer wanted, but I also realized that I love pretty much anything Marissa Meyer writes because of Cinder last month. I think that was last month. Yes, that was last month. And Heartless this month, and then the Renegades trilogy, which are right there, might I add. I just really enjoyed that book. So I love that it was a standalone. I love standalones. I don't read enough of them. Alright, so next is a physical book, and a physical book that I came so close to giving 5 stars. There were just some few nitpicky things that made me not make it 5 stars. And that's The Six Olympians by Maria Alacron. I genuinely loved this book. To the point where when I finished reading it, when I read the last sentence of this book, I wanted to immediately pick it back up again and read it from start to finish, all over again. Right after I finished it, I wanted to pick it up and read it again. It was that good of a story. Now, I gave this 4.5 stars. And the reason for that being, the reason for that being, this is this author's debut novel. There are 2 others that are out. It's a trilogy. I will definitely be saving up to buy the next 2. I want to know what happens to these characters. The nitpicky things and the reasons why it didn't get that half star left to make it a 5-star was some of the writing felt like being a debut author, like being her debut book that I know of. I probably should have done a little bit more research before saying that, claiming that, but it was missing things, and there was some sentence structure, and just as someone who is writing or has written her first book and is in the midst of editing it, I have editor on the brain, so reading this, I kind of went at it with almost an editorial side, because there were just sometimes I'm like, that sentence probably should have been reworded, or like, that wasn't a really clear paragraph, as I don't know what she was trying to get with this scene. But overall, I loved the characters. I loved all 6 of the Olympians we meet in this book. There is a video of me reading this, so if you want to know my more in-depth thoughts and opinions and me nerding out over Greek mythology, because I thank you, Percy Jackson, for making me obsessed with Greek mythology, because it's just so dumb at the same time as interesting. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this. And so basically, the quick summary of the plot of this book: the Titan Kronos sent his children, instead of swallowing them like in the original myth, sent his children down to be to Earth, banished them down to Earth with jumbled up memories, and they're partially mortal, but they still have their powers. So that was when they were like 7 years old. Fast forward to they're 16 now. They've been kind of avoiding hanging out with each other, and then they all come together and find out that they are Greek gods and goddesses. That's the gist of that plot. Hopefully I summarized that well. But it was so good. Again, I wanted to pick it up right after I finished it. Even though there were some like nitpicky grammatical structure issues, clarity issues, I loved these characters. I'm a character-driven reader, so characters mean so much to me. And just I read the dedication in the video, but I want to read it again here. This dedication was so good, especially for someone who is a character-driven reader. The dedication in this book is to the readers that make books their home and characters their family, and to the readers that carry the stories they read within them for the rest of their lives. I hope this story and these characters can become some of yours. Like, as a reader, that is like the best dedication I feel like I've ever read. And this, I also don't read dedications very often, but this one really caught my eye, and I loved it. So yeah, 4.5 stars. Aside from some of the grammatic structure stuff, really enjoyed it. These characters have a scene in here that made me relate to them so well, is that they nerded out so hard about their Hogwarts houses and all these other very nerdy moments, and I just like, oh yes, love that these guys are just as nerdy as I am. So yeah, that was the 6 Olympians. And then next we have my only other physical book. I had 3 physical books this month, and that is Dance of Thieves by Mary Pearson. I gave this book 4 stars. There is not a video for this out yet. The video for this will be coming out in December. I liked this book a lot. Obviously, I gave it 4 stars. It was good. The first half of it, slow. The middle to end, jaw-dropping, gripping attention, great. I loved Jace and Cassie. I think that their kind of relationship was very interesting, something I haven't really read, their relationship. I think in the video, which you guys won't see this, so I'm spoiling a smidge of the video, is I kind of compared to like how I like their like time together in a relationship better than Reckless by Lauren Roberts. Because there's kind of definitely not a similar theme at all, but I'm just saying, like, they both kind of are stuck traveling together and attached with a metal chain. So similar to Reckless in that sense, where but I like how she went about doing their relationship. Again, there wasn't this is the first book. Unlike with Reckless, there wasn't the pre-established relationship in Powerless. So that's probably part of the reason why I like the way that kind of one of them, the forced proximity, I liked better with them than I did with Peyton and Kai in Reckless. That's all I'll say about that. 4 stars. I do think that it's a little wordy. I realized that when I picked up Vow of Thieves, which that's not in this month. You'll find out why in the Dance of Thieves video that I did. But it's really wordy. There's a lot of, not dialogue, but just a lot of descriptive words. A lot of just like heavy descriptions of places and journeys, and it's not that I don't care. I really like it. It builds on the world. But there were times where, in like a bunch of lore, there were times where I'm like, I am overwhelmed. It's probably because this isn't the first, like, it's based on a world she already created in a previous series, and I haven't read the previous series, the Remnant Chronicles. So that's probably why it felt so overwhelming and a lot to me, is because I didn't fully understand the world building. I mean, I got it. Like, I got it. I understood most of it, but there were parts of it where I'm like, what in the world is this going on about? So that's that's the main reason why I didn't get 5 stars, but that's my own personal problem with not choosing to read Remnant Chronicles first. That's kind of on me. And then we have the final, 7th and final book of this month, which is I Don't Need Your Protection by Emma Dalton, another ebook. You guessed it, because I'm holding up my Kindle. I also gave this 4 stars. I didn't get a single 5-star book in this video. Not this video, in this month, which is sad. But I loved I Don't Need Your Protection. I really love any romance written by Emma Dalton. They're so sweet and simple and just like easy reads. And after reading such a heavy fantasy that is Dance of Thieves and partially Vow of Thieves, I really needed something light and sweet and just kind of like, oh, I don't have to think. I can just read this and I don't have to think. They're clean YA. I'm kind of talking in general for Emma Dalton's books. I Don't Need Your Protection is a story about a girl who loses her parents in a car accident, is discovered by her rich grandfather, who he sends her to a boarding school with a bodyguard who is her age, and basically to protect her because there might be a threat on her life. And the romance is between her and her teenage bodyguard, which she is also a teenager. They're both 16. It was it's the first time I've ever read a bodyguard romance, and it was actually really cute, and I loved it. I think it really, like, I think I was slowly, after Dance of Thieves and partially Vow of Thieves, I was kind of getting into a reading slump a little bit. I'm like, I just can't keep reading these fantasies, because they are heavy. This book and this book are pretty heavy. But anyways, I really, really loved just kind of, they're clean YA. All of Emma Dalton's books are clean YA, at least the ones I've read, and I really like how just simple they are. Like, I really don't have to do a lot of brain power to understand these books, and it was a great break from the fantasy genre. And yeah, I 10 out of 10 recommend for anyone from ages 12 to adult. It really, they're pretty tame. Yeah. Actually, this one was pretty tame. Yeah, I haven't read any by her that have made me be like, oh, why is this in a YA book? No, all of them are tame and no spice, all PG. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Those were the 7 books I read this month. I'm really excited for next month because it is December, and there will be an end of year wrap up, and I'm really excited to kind of do that. Do I want to talk about all the books that I read this year? That will be a really long video. Make it put into 2 parts. I really don't know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!